Hi, good afternoon. אני מדברת באנגלית, סליחה, עדיין אני לומדת עברית. אז my name is איילת, השחר. I work with Wiser, a security awareness training platform, but I'm actually a marketer. So why on earth am I here? 3 years ago, I knew nothing about cybersecurity. I got laid off and I was an עולה חדשה, and I had no family here, and I had very few professional connections. Well, thank you. Now, if you know, so sorry, I just totally lost my train of thought. Let me do the clicker. How do I click? How do I make it go forward? I just click this. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna try again. Okay. Beseda, you can follow me. Okay. All right. So what I want to talk about is using LinkedIn. Now, I know you're either just getting started in the work world, or maybe you're looking to transition into cyber. And if you're like me, you probably think of LinkedIn as a boring professional platform that, you know, it's for suit people, right? Or it's just one more place to throw up your CV and hope for the best. But it doesn't have to be that. When I was unemployed, I came across a man who was showing how to use LinkedIn more effectively. And what he showed me totally changed how I view career and job hunting and also networking. You know, 3 years ago, I knew hardly anybody professionally. I was a stay-at-home mom before I made Aliyah. And coming here, I had to suddenly find a job, and it was a big transition. Now, because of what I've learned and using LinkedIn, I've created a network of amazing professionals all across the world. And these are professionals that I can reach out to for support, for questions, for collaboration, and feedback. Closer? Okay, that better? Okay, sorry. And so I want to share with you a little bit today how you can jumpstart your networking. Of course, you want to make sure you have a good profile, but that's a whole nother conversation. And I have resources for that. If you want to reach out to me, I'm happy to share with you. But how can you get started, even with not knowing anyone? Because one thing that I've learned in all of this in the last 3 years is that your network is your net worth. Because there's a very interesting, let me start over. Sorry, I'm not nervous, right? No, it's okay, we're intimate here. So how do we get started? We want to use our time wisely because you've got a lot to do. You've got a lot to learn if you're getting into cyber, right? You've got a lot of different roles to figure out and find what is your interest. So first, you want to really define what your goals are for using LinkedIn. Obviously, you need a job, right? But you want to network, you want to connect, you want to build relationships with people. Because even though it's a digital platform, right, what we've really learned, one thing through Corona, right, is you can build real relationships. All those people that you saw on the last slide, I had never met until at B-Sides this last week. I got to meet finally one of them in person. But I've had relationships and I can go to them, and it's really an amazing thing that you can build even digitally. You can connect with people and you can do it in an authentic way, right? We're not trying to use people. We're just trying to use the platform that's available to us and use it strategically. So first, what are your goals? You want to build relationships, but you want to build relationships with the right people. Now, for you, I know it's going to be a little nebulous at first because you've got to decide kind of, you know, are you looking into incident response? Are you wanting to be doing more pen testing? Are you want to go into the governance and, you know, a GRC, right? But you can kind of keep it broad, and that's okay, right? Because you're learning. So have your clear goals that you want to connect with people that are related to your focus, even if it's a few different ones to get started. All right, we want to be intentional because, as Jack says, that's how we create an effective network. Just connecting with everybody is not going to serve you, okay? You want to be really focused. So like for myself, I kind of have 3 broad categories of people I like to connect with. You know, I like to connect with other marketers. I like to connect with cybersecurity professionals. And then I have kind of my random group of like small business owners and, you know, freelancers and such. Why is this important? Okay, so we want to focus on growing our network, even though you're just getting started. But it's important to know that you don't want to just grow the size of your network. You want to grow the diversity of your network. A really interesting study done by Ron Brand, and he's a network scientist. And the study found, and he's been repeated multiple times, that the best predictor of career success is simply having a large open network. What is that? So a closed network is one where everyone already knows each other, right? Like a pinball machine, you're just bouncing around within the closed system. An open network, however, is one that is full of different clusters of different groups of people. Now, the clusters are not connected, but you're the free agent that can connect between them. So even if you're transitioning from another career and looking to go into cyber, your network that you have already built up can still be very valuable, because believe me, cybersecurity is relevant to everyone. And so you want to focus on creating a diversity. So it's okay if you want to connect with people in GRC, in incident response, in security awareness, you know, because these all collaborate and they all work together. Okay, so you kind of got it narrowed down once you kind of defined maybe the big groups of categories of people you want to connect to. Now you want to narrow it down, because we've got to be intentional and we're trying to jumpstart ourselves, right? This isn't a forever plan, but it's to get you started and going quickly. So you want to narrow it down to 5 individuals that you have decided on LinkedIn that you think are relevant to you. Because our main thing here is we don't want to get lost in scrolling, right? LinkedIn is still social media. Instagram, Pinterest, right? You can still get lost on LinkedIn, right? People think it's boring, but it actually gets kind of interesting sometimes. It's actually fun. It's the one I like the best. You know, I'm kind of a nerd, but it's okay. So, but we want to take these 5 people that we're focusing in on, and we're going to separate them into the big 3 and the little 2. Now, what do I mean by that? So you're going to look at the big 3. Now we're going to be like, the numbers here is just a guideline. It can be smaller, especially if you're looking at professionals in Israel. This number is going to be smaller. But basically, you're looking with someone with a decent sized audience. You're looking for a person who not just has a big audience, but they're also actively posting. Because just like Rode said earlier, like, you want to learn from these people, right? So you want to make sure they're posting regularly. And then lastly, you want to make sure that they're not just posting a lot, but they're actually driving conversation. You're seeing people commenting on their posts. Because why is that important? Because you can join in the conversation. That's the awesome thing about LinkedIn. There are conversations going on all over the place about areas that you're interested in, and you can jump in. Even as a student, you can ask a good question. And a good professional will appreciate a good question. There's knuckleheads on LinkedIn, of course. Just ignore them and move on. But the professionals that will see that you're constantly showing up, you're constantly being a part of it, you're asking a question, or you're saying, you know, I tried this, but it didn't work. What should I have done better? Or how can I change it? You know, be a part of the conversation. Now, the small 2 is the same thing. It's just someone with a smaller following, okay? So you want someone with larger followings. We're going to have about 3 of those. And then we're going to have 2 that we're going to follow that have a smaller audience, but they're still actively posting and they still drive conversations. Now, real fast, why are these important? The big 3 is more about using the size of their audience to find other opportunities to connect with other people, because the people that are commenting on his post or her post, they're someone who's also interested in what you're interested in, right? And those with large followings may not have the time to respond to every single person. But those with smaller followings, they might have the time, and they appreciate when someone takes the time to comment on their post thoughtfully, right? So the large one's more about the visibility. The smaller 2 are more about the relationship that you can build directly with the original poster. If this sounds like a little bit like social engineering, if you're familiar with that, could consider that, but we're doing it for good, right? Ethically. And the point is we're trying to be strategic. That's it. We're trying to be strategic so we can jumpstart our networking and so that we can find people quickly that are relevant for us because you want to learn from them. You want to engage with them. You want to build those relationships. And then what we're going to do now is we're simply going to connect. Cool. We're going to connect and we're going to maintain that connection. But like I said, how do you do this without getting lost in the scroll of the LinkedIn feed? So we're going to do something. It's really simple. I'm not a techie person, so believe me, you can do this. You're going to open up the profile page of each professional that you've targeted, and you're going to go down to their activity section. Once you get there, you're going to open it up, and you want to change the view, right? You see the buttons atop across the top, so you want to change it to the posts. This will give you a direct URL to their post feed. It lets you bypass having to always go and find this view. And also it keeps them from getting notifications all the time that you keep checking out their profile. So you can go straight there and you're going to simply bookmark it, right? Bookmark it, put it in a folder. And then all you have to do every day is spend 2 minutes and go straight to see what conversation are they starting today? Well, how can I join in? And then you're going to move to the next person. And in 10 minutes, you've stayed on top of the latest conversations. After that, do it for a month and then evaluate and adjust. Maybe you've found some new people to connect with. Add them to your bookmarks bar and just keep doing it and building those relationships. Now, in marketing and in sales, we like to say people buy from people. And simply put, just be yourself. Be a good person who wants to give back, who wants to build genuine relationships, right? Because it's true with buying, but it's also true with connecting, and it's true with hiring. So give back to the community. You have a lot there available to you. There's so many professionals that are giving notes. They're giving free webinars. They're doing podcasts, just like Raoult said. They have so much free resources and also good paid resources they will direct you to and help you with and cheer you on. It's a wonderful community. So just be about the people and you're going to build an amazing network. And you can use that even now, and you can get started even now, because just like in any big hack, it's going to be a long game, right? Because you don't just immediately connect with someone, right? You build it, and takes time. So now all you have to do, right? Sounds easy. All you have to do is just simply get started. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, to try, mess up, reevaluate, and try again. You're going to meet some really incredible people out there, and I know they're looking forward to it. You have a great start here with all of the people here at Hackeriot. And I'm also happy to help anyway and to share any resources that I've gathered along the way as I'm also learning myself. It's a wonderful, wonderful community, and I'm really excited to see you ladies and see what you do.